Chain began in the mid-80s. They were heralded, really, as the White Knights of the distortion and feedback. They brought back the spirit of the Velvet Underground to the indie scene. They've just released the third single from their Honey's Dead album. They're currently in Japan on tour before they head off for 3 months into America for the Lollapalooza 2 tour. Here are the Jesus and Mary Chain. I'll see you next week, 9 o'clock Central European time for more 120 minutes. Bye-bye.
If somebody says that we're a jazz band, I'm not bothered by it as long as the music sounds the way it does. I suppose if you're pointing a gun at me and saying what kind of music do you make, it's rock and roll music. We remember things like Bo Diddley or the Doors or the Sex Pistols and Subway Sect or whatever. Do you know, it's like it can be more than cliches, and it has been. And that's what we try and do with it, to lift it above the moronic Jack Daniels swigging idiots that have taken over nowadays. There's a thread that runs through it all, I suppose, but it's difficult for us to look at our music that way, because it's almost like when we come back after like however long it's been, like 2 years this time, I think, it's almost like starting again. It feels like it's a new band to us, but I mean, I can't really say. I mean, it's really up to like, other people to kind of analyse the music. The spirit of rock and roll music's really hard to find at the moment, because I mean, rock and roll's been taken over by like like 45-year-old bores and fucking like horrible like spandex or whatever you call them trousers, like Kiss and all that. I mean, I don't know, or even like the younger version. Everybody raves about Guns N' Roses, and it's like one cliche after another. I mean, that's unfortunately what most people think of as rock and roll music now. And we think that's a shame. The only people at the Mary Chain can't be without is us. We played on all of the records with just the two of us in the studio, with a few exceptions. Psycho Candy was a bit more of a band thing. But Darklands, Automati, all the stuff on Barbed Wire Kisses, it's all us. And the band was more or less just for live. It was just for, just people, just friends. It was fun going on tour. It was like, it wasn't like a bunch of musos like out to sort of try and like sell records. It was just, we've got these good songs, let's go out and have a little bit of fun. It was more of that kind of attitude than get a real serious band together. I think we're still kind of really feeling our way around this business, because I don't really want to get to know too much about it. We're just here to make music, and if it could be as simple as us making a record and it would magically appear in shops and people would choose maybe to buy it or not, then that would suit me just fine. All of the bits in the middle I kind of feel pretty uncomfortable with. I'm speaking for both of us here, I think. We don't really pay too much mind to what other people have got to say about us. We just kind of... things happen to us because we don't make plans, and we don't really we don't worry too much about what the consequences are going to be of any particular incident. I don't like things to be too mapped out for me. I really like to know that far in advance what I'm going to be doing, because it just means everything's really kind of boring. The more people that take their own music careers into their hands, the better. we're honest on stage. I mean, we just do what we feel. I mean, I get nervous when I go on stage, and I don't really like to fake do you know what I mean, a relaxed mood or whatever. If I'm nervous, it shows. I'm standing there. It doesn't mean to say that you can't enjoy it, but I don't really like to go through all of the kind of sort of like Liberace type, like fake, phony, hi, how you doing, The truth of the matter is that anybody that makes music and stands on stage, they don't know the audience. The audience is a crowd of people, and you can never get to know a crowd. So we just don't offer any pretense of like we love you or anything like that. I appreciate people are there, and I'm saying it now, but I really don't need to shake hands or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? It's like we do what we're there for, and hopefully people enjoy it. But I can't make people enjoy it, or I can't make people understand what we're all about. People obviously do, because they come back and we're still here.
What we're trying to say is because we're songwriters, we're not really very good at talking. We're not lecturers or politicians.
Music is never a competition. I think anybody that treats it that way might as well just forget it, or like might as well just seek out to make $1 million. I don't know, but I think if you're serious about it and you're doing it for the love of music, it's a sin if you start to treat music like who's the highest in the chart. Too much kind of bitchiness goes on in the British music scene, and what you really ought to do is just try and kind of make some sort of connection with people that you think are similar to yourself. People with similar attitudes and ideas really ought to get together rather than fight. It's just a waste of time to just knock each other down. There's room for producers, but they should take second place to people that write songs and make music. When producers get more important than bands, and things are all screwed up. I think anybody that's upset by that song is an idiot. Just simple as that. You've got to be a half-wit to be upset by something like that. Apart from anything, there's nothing blasphemous, I don't think, in that song. In fact, you could say that that's you could use that as a hymn or something like that. You could get Harry Seacombe singing it on Highway on Sundays. That'd be pretty good. I suppose it's it's probably going to be our downfall that we never had a real tight band behind us.